Hello, good morning everybody. I would like to start by telling you a little story about a 15-year-old boy who was out with his friends, and one of them, influenced by his parents of course, had taken smoking up, and so he actually took his friends and he went and they wanted to smoke. So this 15-year-old boy, not knowing really what to do, he agreed and he acted as if he had smoked before. Unfortunately, the friends found out that he had not smoked before and he became a joke. So after that day onwards, he started smoking and he became a part of that in crowd. At the age of 21, he looked like this. He turned out to be a really cool guy. A few years later, he had a traumatic experience. He couldn't breathe and he actually thought that he was going to die. He actually realized that where he was going was not a good place. So he made a change in his life. And that guy, that 15-year-old boy, is me. I'm Gareth.Almeida, and today I'd like to speak to you about smoking tobacco, and it is a harmful habit. Did you know, according to the American Cancer Society, an adult male smoker loses an average of 13.2 years in his life. A female smoker loses 14.5 years of her life. In today's presentation, I would like to highlight the causal factors of smoking tobacco. Number two, I would like to highlight the health effects and risks of smoking tobacco. And thirdly, I would like to highlight the ways to successfully quit smoking in order to live a longer and healthier life. First, some driving factors for smoking tobacco, and also I will tell you a little bit how people started smoking. According to the Cancer Society of New South Wales 2013, it stated that tobacco has been growing wide in the United States for the last 8,000 years. Around 2,000 years ago, it began being chewed and smoked during cultural and religious ceremonies and events. By the 1700s, smoking had become more widespread and the tobacco industry had been developed. Today we see a lot of people, they smoke because of peer pressure, like myself, because they are encouraged by advertisements, through the internet, and mainly through movies. Having looked at the causal factors of tobacco intake, now let's turn our attention to the impact that smoking has on our lives, on our human bodies today. Health effects and risks of smoking. According to the American Cancer Society, half of all smokers who keep smoking will die of a smoke-related disease. For example, cancer, lung cancer, throat cancer, and stomach cancer are namely a few. Respiratory diseases like COPD, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. Cardiovascular diseases like coronary thrombosis. And finally, according to the American Cancer Society, we find out that even pregnant women who smoke are at risk. There is an increased risk of early delivery and infant death. Now that we've understood the effects of smoking tobacco, let's look at a few things that we as individuals can successfully do to quit smoking. There are two methods. There are two methods to successfully quit smoking. One is focusing on the mentally, and the other is focusing physically. For the mental part of the addiction, we can go for counseling, or we can have telephone-based help, or even local classes like quit smoking programs and support groups. Or even support from your family and friends like I had. And then for the physical part of the addictions are nicotine replacement therapy and also hypnosis, acupuncture and magnetic therapy. Now that we have looked into certain helpful measures to successfully quit smoking, let's recap on some main points that I have discussed in my presentation today. Finally, it is important to know the causal factors of tobacco intake, like I mentioned, peer pressure, movies, commercials and internet. Next, we looked at health effects and risks of smoking, like cancer, respiratory diseases. Finally, we looked at some successful ways of how to quit smoking in order to live longer and healthier lives, like overcoming the mental part and the physical part of the addiction. Interestingly enough, I am an example of this process. I know it is possible to quit. It is all about the renewal of your mind. Hence, let us all make an active effort to quit this nasty habit and lead a healthy and prosperous life. Thank you.